Okay, now we're ready. Hello, everyone. I'm Sally Lipsky with Plant-Based Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. Yes. So we're going to start today about herbs. And what I was going to say is, people, if you want to, or online, just put questions in the chat. Of course, we'll have time at the end for more questions or your suggestions. Put it in the chat. So let us start with getting the right button. How's that? There you go. So herbs. Two things about herbs, as far as one is just the idea of adding flavor to food. And plus, if you were, looking at your salt, you can reduce the salt or eliminate the salt, as we often do, with just by having the extra herbs. And the other thing is the really immense nutritional value. And what it's called is polyphenols, which is very anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. So let's talk a little bit here about, if you're buying fresh herbs, here's some tips that sound self-explanatory, but you want the bright green, deep green. In other words, you don't want the wilted, yellowing ones. But storing, they said you can wash and pat dry. I put mine in, some people say paper towel. I put mine in a dish, absorbent dish towel, and that's how I keep it. But, and then airtight. And they also have containers, special containers, which some of you might already been using, that are special for herbs to keep them fresh. This was interesting to me. I knew that cilantro is very, very perishable. And they also said here that basil, so they said those two will probably keep no more than a week in the refrigerator. More firm, like parsley and oregano, a bit longer than the week, and even thyme and rosemary, a couple of weeks, which I didn't even realize that. And then, of course, we have freezer people here. Freeze them. That's what I do. You can put them in with ice cubes, or I just even put them in a plastic bag and then take out as I need. So they certainly are freezable. And as far as dried herbs, they are usually nutritionally, they're usually as beneficial as fresh. And even sometimes they're more concentrated, but they do expire as far as the flavor and the nutrition. So they say to use it within a year. And the rule of thumb is, if it calls for 1 tablespoon fresh, use 1 teaspoon dried. Let's see. So I'm going to go through the most common herbs and what I found out here from what's the nutritional value. And you'll see over a lot of overlapping. Basil, probably one of the most common, but it's, as you can see, it has vitamins, nutrients, but also antioxidants and anti-inflammatory. It's good to know. Cilantro. It is lots of, I was going to say magnesium twice, but it isn't. Lots of minerals in it, as well as a slew of vitamins. And of course, it's often known for the dietary fiber. 2 weeks ago, I was at a complementary and alternative medicine conference for cancer patients, and they mentioned cilantro and parsley as being especially helpful as far as the antioxidant and healing nature. Chives, we know, or certainly a lot of us know, that it is a relative. It's in the allium family, which is such an antioxidant there. And it has a lot of fiber in it. You can see all of that good stuff. Parsley. There goes the unique disease-preventing properties they were saying. Don't ask me to be specific because I don't know, but they are. Oregano. It is, of all the plants, it's one of the highest antioxidant activities. Besides all the antiseptic, it often is used for improving indigestion, helps secrete those gastrointestinal juices. But also, I didn't know the other things, the cold, fever, painful menstruation. I didn't know any of this, but it's interesting. Thyme. Of the herb family, fresh thyme has one of the highest antioxidant levels of all the herbs, as well as you can see the minerals and vitamins. Rosemary, which is here, helps suppress allergic responses and nasal congestion. Boy, I'm going to start adding rosemary. This time of the year, you know, with our early allergy symptoms. Peppermint. And I have often heard, you probably too, about the nauseousness, how it helps to reduce that. But again, it's another one that has essential oils, and it has a cooling sensation as far as, and you know, all those vitamins and minerals that are overlapping with others. Sage. I had to look this up. What is, and I don't even know if I'm saying this, but the oils in sage are antiseptic, and they create a surface, a redness where the blood vessels, called a rupefacient. I'm looking at the medical professionals behind me. Is that good? Okay, thank you. And it also brain function, attention span. I don't know if I've ever, I mean, I know I've tasted sage, but I've certainly never grown it. And I didn't find it in any of the stores where I was looking. So it's unusual. And I know it's a song, so that's where you hear it. Dill, disease, another health promoting, another against, you know, diseases. Blood cholesterol. They often use it to control blood cholesterol levels. Okay, so that's the main nutritional. In other words, the bottom line, they're nutritious. So suggestions for cooking, and this is where I'm going to ask for other people here in the studio audience and online, if you, once I go through some things that I came up with that I use it for suggestions. Of course, you can just throw it in anything you're cooking, the stews, the grains, the sauces, the soups. On a sandwich. Yes, they said the Washington Post had an article, which I was taking some of this from, but you can put anything on a sandwich. And basically, as even a substitute for lettuce, is use your herbs. This was, when I first read about this a number of years ago, this was opened my mind to how salads. You don't need just your standard lettuce, greens. Throw in a whole bunch. Sometimes in the summer, you might have more herbs than anything else. Just make a salad with that. Vinaigrette dressings. Of course, these oregano and thyme are especially mentioned, but again, I just throw in whatever I have. Parsley and dill. I love dill on potatoes. It's one of my favorite. Rubbing these dried herbs before you grill, before roasting. Oh, yes. Mint or basil in particular in sparkling water or tea. I do this, and putting, if I have a jarred marinara or something, another jar, adding the fresh or even sometimes dry to it. Grilling, this is similar to what I was saying, the grilling. And they especially said that with sauteed, if you had green beans, they especially said the combination of mint and parsley. I guess that's sort of a Mediterranean style. And of course, mint, I love mint in my fruit salads. And sometimes basil too, basil and mint. So there are my top 10. Would you want to add some suggestions at this point? How you look online, if there's anybody wants to put it in the chat, anybody in the audience, or we can move on.
Well,
yes.
Anybody who likes rice paper, how do you call that? The fresh spring rolls.
Yes, fresh spring roll.
I found a recipe. I almost posted it. This was done a long time ago. I just combined cilantro and mint. I know some of you don't like cilantro, but you can use parsley or any other herbs. And then you combine it with a piece of lettuce, any lettuce you want, and then you roll it. Of course, you can add other vegetable. But the thing is, if you combine it with a good peanut sauce, you have a lot of good peanut sauce, peanuts, peanut butter with a little soy sauce, a little maple syrup, maybe vinegar, and then you'll be happy.
See, Lulu always has recipes that makes us happy. So
but this is very simple. But you can add carrots or anything. But I only had 2 in that recipe. This is a long time ago.
Would you put it on the plant-based?
Yeah, I know. I missed.
I love watching you're looking.
Yeah, I know this is an old recipe,
That's
and
okay.
I was surprised that I liked it.
Okay. Yeah, love spring rolls. Yes.
Sage, you said you don't.
I don't know.
I have a sage plant. Just put one in, and it gets woody and chop it back, and it just grows.
Really, sage is easy to grow.
I don't know. It's an autumn flavor to me. So it's butternut squash.
Oh, do you hear sage with butternut squash? Oh, okay. I'm going to start looking for sage. See if I can, because it never even occurred to me. Yeah.
I think sage is a flavor that if you or a meat eater, you associate with chicken and stuffing. It's like poultry seasoning has a lot of
yeah, you're right.
So like when I make anything that's like I make like mock chicken patties out of cheese, but I use some sage in that because then when people eat it, they kind of seem more chickeny.
I get you. Yeah.
And associate that thing.
Yeah.
Tarragon's good too, though. It's good and like an dressing.
Rochelle said chopped eel is good on potatoes. I have to also say chopped eel, I steam carrots, and I love eel on steamed carrots. And it sticks to it, it's so good. No, just so they can hear you a little louder.
When I pick up all the little leaves that I'm using in my recipes, I save the stems if they're not woody, and I throw them into my green smoothie.
Good one. Save the stems. Perfect. Absolutely. I do that with my pea greens that I have. The stems are I throw it in to smoothies. Yeah, good one.
But sometimes they say there's more nutrients in the stem than there are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Along the same exact lines, I keep a bag in my freezer. So when I make vegetable broth, so like peelings and scrappy, the parts that you don't really want to eat in pieces of things, I throw in and freeze. But I do that, I add herbs to that too. And then every so often I throw it on the Instant Pot with a bunch of water and make my own vegetable broth.
Okay. And so after you then drain the liquid part of it.
I kind of I drain it and kind of push down on it.
Yeah.
And then that goes in the compost, and then I have a nice vegetable broth.
Yeah. Wow. Good one. Okay, where am I here? Here. So here's the growing. You want to try to pick herbs that are versatile and thrive throughout the year in our climate. And that's the list that they recommend. Sage is on there, so try that. It says it's so much easier to get a plant starter. So that's why people that are here in person will get a plant starter today but you can also do it from seeds. And if you have some kind of hydroponic, seeds are really a good way to start with the hydroponic system. Okay, make sure the potting soil is not too heavy because you want the light potting. You should say it like when I was transplanting the herbs that are here now, it said the potting soil was a light potting soil. It's usually most that you do for pots are light as opposed to the heavier soils in the ground. Drainage is important for growing herbs. And another important thing is the light. So anything that gets direct light, they recommend 4 to 6 hours a day. I.e., if you have a south-facing window, or if you have a growing light. And I'll show you a picture of that in just a second here. This is always my fault. Is do I water or not? You want it moist, not soggy. So they said, put a finger in. If you feel moisture in the first inch, don't give it more water. And some of them, like basil, I notice when I buy it, they say water from the bottom up, which I don't know if I've been real successful with that. But, self-watering containers. And I'll show you my self-watering container. This is when it was full of sprouting, micro sprouts. And if you can see, this is a self-watering container. In fact, Costco, my husband told me, I got these last year at Costco. You can wheel them out in the summer if you have the space. And they're, as he told me, $25 off this month. But I don't have room for any more. But I have just fluorescent lights that my daughter got on, I think, Facebook as my growing lights.
By self-water.
Oh.
You don't add water, it just...
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm saying the people online, it wasn't progressing. Okay, now they caught up to us. Okay. There is, the self-watering is, they have like underneath the soil there's like container and you put the water in. See, you really can't see it. There's a spout that you put your gallons of water in, and it just lets the water go underneath it, and then it releases it until they have a indicator. You can see it go down, and it will let you know when you need to add more water. So this is a bigger container. I see it more. This is more and more of these self-watering and hydroponic kind of, like you can get an aero garden, which I also have, but you can, if you look, they're sprouting up, so to speak, more and more. Linda.
I was just at the home show yesterday. There's an exhibit called VegPod, VEGEPOD.com. And they're from Australia, and they happened to, I said, you should go on Shark Tank. And the gal said, we were on Shark Tank, but it was Australia Shark Tank. And they won, and they got a Shark to help them. But they have all different size containers, and they are also self-watering. They have round ones that are small, and they have larger ones that are kind of square, you can also buy a stand. So it was an interesting one.
And this is for both inside and outside?
You can, it's a VEGPOD. Do I get this right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Veg pod, okay. I would say yes. I mean, the ones I know you can, as I said, as long as you can have a wheel, if it's large enough to wheel it out. But this was out all last summer. I was growing tomatoes in it. And then I brought it in, obviously, when the end of fall, and I've been growing. Since then, right now I have 4 herb plants in there, including chives that were growing from my onions, in the pantry that were little, and now they're growing in there. Okay. Geez, this one's giving me. Oh, just a reminder, when you're taking the leaves off of your herb plants, go with the oldest leaves, the larger leaves. And so the new ones will keep growing. Okay, so here's some fun recipes. And as I said, you will be getting all these tomorrow or Monday, after the recording has been up. This is a parsley pistachio lime pesto. And Linda Askren sent this, and I thought it sounded so yummy. It really, 1 cup fresh parsley. Have you made it, Linda? No. Lime zest, and of course you don't have to use the olive oil, but this is a keeper for me. And these are 2 other ones that are both from Jill Nassanow, who is really has some great recipe ideas. And the cilantro avocado dressing for like a creamy dressing. I love cilantro. We know how those taste buds are, those DNA. Some people think it's soap-like. I love it. But I thought it was a really good one. It's a 4th cup packed cilantro. And the black bean salsa, of course, has cilantro, a 1/2 cup of cilantro in it. Basil and parsley, which are often combined in recipes. And they're in the dressing. Oh, I added this one because 1.5 cups packed fresh basil leaves. You usually don't see that much basil. I have not tried this, but boy, I love the taste of basil almost as much as I love the smell of it. So this would be a good one to try if you have a lot of basil. Otherwise, it'd be frustrating. And I've tried it. Look, there are so many different confetti salads out there. I couldn't find the original where I got this from, but it's been one of the go-tos because it's so easy. And I love dill. So it uses one of my favorite herbs. Oh, Millicent. This was so interesting. Have you ever made this? So it is mixed herb. How do you pronounce it? Gremolata? Yes. I've never heard of it. Now they said, I saw the directions you sent me. They said on meat. It's a good for meat, but of course, yes. Yeah, I had never, but boy, it sounds wonderful. I like that combination of the herbs with the citrus and the garlic. Mm-hmm. Is this Italian? Is it Italian? I would think so too. Yeah. It's just like a crumbly. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I get you. Okay, that would be good. Whoops, I gotta get. These are two dressings by the Raw Gourmet woman. And I like the top one. I just thought that sounded so interesting because of the citrus and the mint with the cumin. And I like that combination to begin with. And then the other one, the cucumber, I have to say, I did try that. It didn't turn out great for me, but I'm not dissuading you. So try it your own. Okay, now this is our last slide. Okay. Given the week coming up, I had to look up Shamrocks. And if you have any Irish blood in here, you can help with this, but I knew they were clover. And we have to remember, but not, there's various types of clover, so they are one type of a clover. Yes, you can grow them indoors. Like other plants, they need direct sun, barely moist soil, and cooler temperature. The four-leaf clovers are a variation, and there seems to be controversy, at least we're not the site I looked at, whether it's a mutation, is it genetic, environmental is part of that, you know. But only for every four-leaf clover, there's around 10,000 three-leaf clovers. So I remember as a youngster going in the grass looking for those favored four-leaf clovers, and you can see the odds aren't great. Like, you know, well, I guess they're better than winning the lottery these days, but still. And the four each according to Irish lore, it's faith, hope, love, and luck, each of the leaves. Now, can they be eaten? Yes, with a caveat. Animals can definitely eat them, and you will see in its natural habitats, they are like cows, horses, and rabbits. Probably, I'm not sure the whole slew. But they're very nutritious. They're high in protein, phosphorus, and calcium. The thing is, they do have a sour taste. They recommend that if you're going to eat it, and I know the Irish during times of famine, they resorted to eating clovers, but shamrocks, a lot of it. This one, the Plant Geek recommends the purple clover, purple shamrock, which I had never heard of, but it is beautiful looking. And especially as a way to embellish. He gave an example such as a lemon cake. He had a photo of a lemon cake with the purple on it. So those are edible, though they do have a little piece of citric flavor. So a little sour flavor. So there's everything you want to know as your encyclopedia of Shamrocks this coming week. And then that is it. We'll take the rest of the time to share, if you have something that you want to share, a way that you use or grow your herbs, or certainly the way you use them to prepare and cook. So. Okay, I'll look here in the chat and in the audience. Anything to add? Linda. Oh, yes.
Also, Trader Joe's have 21 spice mix is very good. I'm not sure what you compare the two, but they're good general spice mixtures we have. Ones, 21 seeds.
Is it herbs DE? Yeah, that's they have lavender in it, don't they? Have lavender in herbs. Yeah. Uh-huh. And Trader Joe's, I use that. They have that too. Yeah, they were saying Herb de Provence. Pamela asked if I can repeat. They didn't hear it. As a really, it's like Thanksgiving in a jar, and it's good. Salad soups. I think it's for dressings. It's a little bit of everything. It's a mixture, and same with the Trader Joe's 21 Salute. It is a good, and no salt in it. It just has a mixture, orange peel and some pepper. It's just a whole mixture of herbs. Yes. Okay. Any other?
That looks like three little loops, and then you alternate it. And so what I do is I have that out on my deck, and each one of the little like loops is exposed. So I put a different herb in each one of the things. So it's an easy way to grow the herbs vertically instead of having a bunch of things across the board. And then I'll put like a few flowers in there too. We'll use this one like my deck, when I need a little bit of oregano or whatever I just want.
So you set it against the wall in the deck.
Yeah.
It's hot. Was that
Open
windows? Vertical.
So it's like three things to go.
Yes. You just put it on your wall. Deck wall. Freestanding.
So you can find different.
I've got to look for that. Yeah, that's such a great idea to grow it vertically. Sure. Because the herbs do, I mean, they add. There's no doubt about it. When I use them, they do, yeah.
Some come back. You know, I was looking back in the fall, and then sometimes they'll come back and sometimes I'll have to buy them again. But usually oregano usually comes back.
Yeah.
And there are some that are annuals and some that are perennials.
Yes.
Parsley's 2 years.
Is parsley 2 years? Oregano. It comes back, and of course mint. Mint, where comes back. No, mint is, yes, you can't get rid of it. Mint is and also a perennial.
Lemon balm is the other.
Oh, lemon balm is. It's a perennial. Yeah, we're talking about which ones are perennials. Those are on Zoom. And which ones are annuals. Well, I thank you. I'm going to Zooming, folks. I will leave you there, and you will hear back from me with the information and recipes. Oh, wait, Rochelle says, I take my spring onions and place the bottoms in water and plant in the garden. They come back every year.
What?
Spring onions.
Think about that, not just the green part, but if they flower, they eat the flower, and especially chives, it's really pretty good. Pull them all like off of the purple and sprinkle them on a salad or something to decorate. Most of the herbs, the flowers are edible, as far as I know. You know, if they do go to eat the
Huh. So we're saying that you can eat the flowers of the onions, and most of the herbs, flowers, yes, are edible, and they certainly would add a lot of visual beauty to anything. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so everyone should go forth with the herbs and report back, huh? I'm serious. At least go to our, if you have Plant-Based Pittsburgh Facebook, you can at least post there or send me your photos. It would be fun. Recipes. Okay. Everyone online, certainly take care, and we will see you next month, possibly.